To keep up to date with our latest videos, hit the subscribe button and select all notifications. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up.
We have put some RSCGP resources here, some quick links to some guides that might be relevant to you to have a look at to help you along with your quality improvement journey and to help you with your quality record keeping at your practice. I'd like to pass over to our first speaker today, Julie. Thanks, Julie.
Thanks, Ange. Hi, everyone. Now, having a process for inactivating patients who have not attended for a number of years are visiting patients, example, overseas or interstate relatives of regular patients, deceased or duplicate patients, is most important for effective data cleansing. Making patients inactive via a bulk inactivation process is relatively simple in both Medical Director and Praxsoft. Firstly, you should discuss the time frame you wish to use with your team. For example, you could use patients who have not attended in the last 3 to 5 years, but it's a practice by practice decision. This action does not delete the patient file. It only changes the status from active to inactive. You can also make inactive patients active again by changing the status back to active. And you can still search for inactive patients in your software by simply ticking the Include Inactive Patient option in the Patient Search feature. Please note this does not change your SWIPI calculation for PIP payment, and it will not remove patient reminders. This should be an annual task or even done more frequently. And resources on how to do this will be sent out for both MD and Praxsoft in today's presentation. Thanks, Ange. Not all diagnoses need to be saved in past history. Have a concise past history list in your patient's files to avoid having redundant data. When past medical history is not used correctly, it can result in failure to treat or follow best practice guidelines and failure to consider relevant surgical history or comorbidities. To avoid this issue, it is important to only enter chronic conditions and significant events in the past medical history. This is something you can set up using your preferences, your software's preferences, to avoid messy patient history screens that look like this. Thanks, Ange. You can see items such as medical certificate, cough, dressing change, results discussed, etc. When you upload a shared health summary or write referrals, all these past history items will be included when all we need to do is add the relevant information, which in this case is diabetes mellitus type 2, and we only need to add this once, not multiple times. Always speak with your clinicians before implementing this though, as they are the ones that need to remember to add any significant items to the past history by ticking Add to Past History when applicable. This is the same in Medical Director. Always ensure your clinicians keep the past history lists up to date and mark past history items as inactive when appropriate. I will now hand you over to Barb.
Thank you, Julie. This task, I always say this is not for the faint-hearted, and it may go into the save for later tasks. You can do this in both Medical Director and Best Practice, but the action is the same. In Medical Director, it's in Medical Director Maintenance, and in Best Practice, it's in the BP Utilities app. It's not in the main MD or BP apps. It's a job for someone with a clinical background, and depending upon how long your practice has been open and whether or not it's part of your current procedures, you may have a long list of uncoded past history items. Using the past history cleanup functionality will match an uncoded diagnosis to a coded one. You select the uncoded one from the item on the left and you replace it with a coded item from the right. If you find you've got large lists, you may need to have conversations with your GPs and nurses about using the coded lists and using the notes or comments functionality in your clinical information systems to add additional notes if needed, but it will be an ongoing task. It is an accreditation standard, 11.3. Our practice uses a nationally recognised medical vocabulary for coding.
If you found this video helpful, remember to subscribe to the MFin YouTube channel and give the video a thumbs up. See you in the next video.